What's
So, okay, I'm gonna start. Gonna start with the what's going on, traders.
What's going on, traders? Ben and I from Intraday Investors, and before we get started, we're gonna be going over our trade, a Roku short that I took, and a NVDA long call that he purchased, and we're gonna be as usual. We're gonna be going over the quote of the day. Okay, so the quote of the day by Leonardo da Vinci is "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." Okay, so basically what he's saying is not overwhelming yourself with a bunch of stocks. You know, we like to focus on tech, blue chip stocks. So, you know, I mean, we're keeping it simple. So you want to add anything else?
So normally we watch, just 5 or 6 stocks at a time, so nothing too crazy. And we also have a simple strategy that's based on good profitability setups, and that's what's important. And we also don't have a ton of indicators on our charts either. So
you don't have
when it comes down to patterns on the charts, we don't have a ton of indicators, and we have simple setups. And
spaghetti all over your charts.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to get into it?
Yeah, we will.
All right, let's do it. I understand the patterns.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll pull up the chart.
Yeah, you want. So he's Ben's gonna be talking about his trade on NVIDIA, and then I'm gonna talk about my short on Roku.
Yeah. All right. So yesterday, we had a trade in NVIDIA that I took, December 12th, 2019. We had a consolidation and a flat top triangle breakout. So reading the tape was crucial on this trade, right? So during this trade, the market was really ripping after Donald Trump tweeted that a China deal was coming, and this sent the market soaring. Okay, so right as you can see at the 220 level, we started to consolidate and we started to make a higher highs and like a triangle move. So we get that flat top triangle, and we started to consolidate and tighten up at 220. And once it was heading towards 220, I noticed that there were a ton of sellers on the tape, including one that had at least 6,000 shares and one that had 1,900 shares. Okay, so right at that moment, I'm understanding that there are a bunch of people trying to drive the price down, but the buyers stayed high, and that's what made the offers lift, and eventually it moved. So once I saw the offers lift on the tape, I was able to enter 2 contracts. We can scroll down a little bit. We might be able to see my entries. So I was able to buy two of the 220 calls for $1.87 each, and NVIDIA immediately began to push higher towards 221 and 222. If we could go back to the chart. So we're seeing the push up towards 221 there, and that's where I scaled out one contract because at the time my price target was $1.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So the fundamental catalyst, I wouldn't say this is too much of a fundamental catalyst.
No, this is more of a technical catalyst, but
the
the same
Trump
time,
tweet
the Trump tweet was good.
And then the SPY was ripping, okay?
Yep.
So you took advantage of that opportunity that presented itself.
Yeah, so we had the good variables
and then we have the good variables in our favor. We can see we have higher highs and higher lows, okay? We have that triangle pattern, okay?
Yep.
And then as soon as it broke that resistance level,
220.
after that consolidation, you entered at a little bit above 220.
Yeah, 220.10 was the price I entered at, $1.87 on each contract. And once we break 221, which was my price target, I scaled out one contract. And then when we got to 222, initially it failed there and wicked to 221.50, and that's where I had my stop. So I was able to stop out just for over $140 profit on that trade. Now you can see, pull that up for one more sec. I just wanted.
Do you want to look at it on a Thinkorswim or?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we could
do that inside.
Thinkorswim, yeah.
All right. So we're gonna look at it in the Thinkorswim. This is the exact trade that you.
Yep. So as you can see here, there's the triangle consolidation and break. So on the breakout, there's a decent amount of volume too. So we have the good volume as well. That's always really, really important when we're taking breakout trades is volume, because volume means there's buyers, especially if we're moving higher. So if there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of buyers, which means the trade can move higher. So that's really important too when we're looking at that. And then you can also see, if you make the chart a little bigger, we can see that this like 217, 216 price level is support from the previous day. So we get that bounce of support, which is great too.
And you can see the candles are holding above the middle VWAP and the exponential moving average. And that's another thing I want to talk about, simplicity. We don't like to have spaghetti all over our charts. So we like to understand, I mean, all that really matters is volume and price action, okay? All the other indicators, they do give you a better understanding, like visual confirmation, but you can see that they're holding pretty nicely above the EMA and the middle VWAP. And then, so you have all these variables working in your favor, and that led to a great trade.
Yep, exactly. So we have the fundamental catalyst from Trump tweeting about the trade deal. We had the technical setup and the triangle breakout. We also have the volume in our favor. So a lot of these combinations make for a great
What?
setup.
So you exited. Do you want to talk about your
222.
exit?
Yeah. So we could pull up the recap again.
Right here.
All right. So you can see once the video broke 221, I scaled out one contract and held the rest as I moved my stop to 220.50. And then once the video rejected 222 and SPY began to slow down as well, I exited my last contract at that 221.50 price. Exit on the last one being 289. So my total profit on the trade was just over $140.
Not bad, not bad. And that was in the matter of what, 5-10 minutes?
Yep.
That's incredible, man. So what you're saying is he scaled out of his trade, and that's what I want to talk about with my trade on Roku, because that's something I need to, get a little bit better on. But before we move forward, we're going to be talking about this right here, okay? Because this correlates with
What you're
my
going to
trade.
talk
Yes.
about. Yep.
So identifying what you could have done better in your trading is step one. So having the awareness, okay, and then developing a solution to improve step one, or
Step
to
two.
improve is step two. Okay, so let's talk about my trade. Okay, so this is my trade on Roku. This is what I failed to do, but again, as long as I have the awareness and I can acknowledge that I made a mistake. I mean, it wasn't a bad mistake, but it's something I can improve on, and that's why trading the markets is awesome, because you can consistently be improving yourself. So I bought 6 contracts at 179, okay, right between 143.50, okay, and it was holding below the blue EMA in the middle of VWAP, and it kept continuously getting rejected, okay, and I had a very nice entry, but for next time in my next trade, again, going with this, identifying what you could have done better in your trading is step one, and developing a solution to improve is step two. What I could have done better is after my position got filled, so instead of selling my 6 contracts as soon as I seen it starting to reverse, I missed out on a lot of profits. There was no fundamental catalyst. This was all technical trade. But what I wanted to do was scale out of my trade. So I got filled at 6 contracts at this level right here. And what I should have done is sold 3 contracts, and slowly scaled out of my trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay myself as it's, because I bought puts obviously, so pay myself as it's depreciating in value, as it's moving in my favor, okay, and pay myself a contract, and then remove my stop loss. And this is something I even wrote on a post-it note, okay. I wrote scale out trade and follow up with trailing stop loss, okay. So that's developing a solution to improve this, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
That's something I definitely want to work on. I could have made a lot more money, but I can't look at it like what I could have made.
Yeah.
It's just a learning. I can turn a bad day into a good day. All about learning your lessons.
So at the same time, when we're looking at this trade, it all comes down to hindsight too, because at the same time, Roku isn't holding that level, so you may have given yourself a reason to exit, but not the entire position.
Right.
And I think that's what we're trying to take away from here, is that scaling out, especially with the way commissions are right now, everything's very, very cheap. So scaling out doesn't cost anything. So it's really important that you can lock in some profits, move your stop up, and then you have a risk-free trade.
Right.
Okay, so once you scale out, say, half your position, you can all just move your stop to your break-even price,
Right, yep.
and then you won't lose any money on the trade. Okay, so once you scale out, you've created a risk-free trade, and the only thing you can do from there is just get the profits you had at your stop, or you can make more money as the stock decides to drop in your favor. So that's really, really important, is creating a risk-free trade in a sense too, and that's what you get with scaling out.
Yes, that's so basically like a trailing stop loss. Okay, so once I get filled, I have my hard stop. I like to keep it like 10 to 20 cents below my entry, depending on your risk tolerance. And then as soon as I see it going in my direction, then I follow up with a stop loss and put that stop loss at my entry level, so it is a risk-free trade. I ended up 162 on the day, not bad. I could have made a lot more, but I could have, and so next time I'm going to take advantage of this and, do something different.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was my trade with Roku.
I went over my trade in the video.
All right, guys, so that was the intraday investors for you guys, trading made simple. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and that's pretty much it. You want anything else to say?
Have a good one.
All right, guys.